Okay, folks, welcome to another Sunday. Happy Halloween weekend and a new trading week. Franklin, hello. Trader Isaac, William. We'll talk about Biden. We'll talk about the polls in a moment. Hey, Chuck. WG Shocker. Larry, hello. Oh, thanks, Bob, for the David Einhorn and SAP videos. Serious stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did 2 videos today. One was a follow-up to the SAP video I did the other day. I think SAP is becoming very, very attractive as a potential short-term swing trade, but watch the video first, and it's probably a trade that we're going to be executing on later on this week. So definitely also, David Einhorn on the 27th wrote a paper for Bloomberg, and he made a statement that the tech bubble had burst on September the 2nd. I think we're on the same page net, but go check out that video as well. And I helped validate his argument a bit. Hello, Trish. Hello. Chinner, hello. Amerimigo got blocked. Let me unblock you for whatever reason here. All right. So let's take a look at the futures market, which have opened up. And what we're looking at are 4-hour charts. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at what earnings are coming out tomorrow, especially in the morning. As of right now, we have the futures up on the S&P 500. We'll circle back by the time we log off to see how these are settling out. It's way too early to make a call here. I want to check the U.S. dollar. Dollar's setting up strong again. Gosh darn it. Let's check out gold. The miners held up fairly well in the face of a rising U.S. dollar on Friday. Gold flat on the session. Off the lows. Silver. I'm waiting for the equity markets to settle down a bit. That's the wrong chart. Silver. Silver is up and doing well, as a matter of fact. Silver on a 4-hour basis has broken out above a resistance level and appears to be poised for another breakout above a primary resistance level at, let's call it 2380. Let's go to the NASDAQ 100, which has really been weak of late. They're up slightly, holding support. You know, I can't see how into Election Day, if Steve Mnuchin and Jay Powell want to keep their jobs, how the stock market could be down going into Election Day. I'm surprised that they allowed it to be down on Friday, but they did. Yeah, we had a little bit of a rally in the last few minutes of trade, but nothing much. Still down considerably on the day. Let's take a look at ag names. Ag was weak all week last week, not wheat, week. Wheat is up slightly. No new session lows. Corn down. Attempting to consolidate here. So we'll see whether or not ag can firm up. We have yet to pull the trigger on the DBA. We've been waiting. Maybe now is the time. The Dow Jones, Dow is down. Dow stocks are down. We saw a wee bit of strength Friday afternoon into the close. And we broke out on a 4-hour time frame. Now it looks as though we're going to retest on this new bar. The question is, do we hold? I think we will. I suspect that we're going to move up higher here into Monday, Tuesday. After Tuesday, I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball. I don't know. Nat gas, ripping. Now, the energy stocks were up Thursday and Friday. Natural gas is doing very, very well on a weekly time frame. Let's go to, what else we want to take a look at here, futures-wise? Copper. Copper. Where are you? Under pressure. Here we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right. So copper, a little bit of technical damage done last week. We broke support. Let's go to a 4-hour time frame. Yeah, really a lot of damage done here. We failed to break out. 1 support level broken, 2 support levels broken, 3 support levels broken. A lot of damage. The Russell 2000. Consolidating. We're flat on the session. So no real oomph yet. We'll see whether or not we pick up momentum overnight. I can't see them allowing this market to drop into election day. Wow, crude prices are crashing. This is a problem. Crude prices are crashing. We're down 4%, more than 4%. Come on, I'm freezing up here. Sorry, folks. Only when I'm live. If you can hear me, I'm having interweb problems. There we go. Weekly time frame on oil. New weekly lows. Now we're down to 4.25 to 4.33% on the session. Horrible, horrible price action here. I don't know. This is bad. We're going to pop here really soon, but we better reverse. This is bad. Equities are going to have a hard time rallying here with crude prices dropping like a stone. Let's go back to the S&P 500 really quick. Now we're down. That makes sense. Mnuchin's on the phone right now with Jay Powell. Guaranteed. Holy cow. We're catching some bids on oil now. We're going to rally here. The question is, do we roll back over? We're probably going to. We'll check back. It's a good point, Will. You would suspect that if Biden wins, that would be negative for oil. There's a couple of ways of looking at that. One, if you go with like the Exxon Mobils of the world, they'll actually do better. Those names. Who's going to take it on the chin are the frackers. They're going to get rocked. They're just going to get clubbed really, really bad. And that'll bode well for the big integrated oil companies. But net for crude oil, not good. We're going to make new lows here. Now we're down 4.69%. Let's bring up equities again. I'm surprised they're holding up this well. Wow. Amazing. Okay. Let's take a look at earnings and what's coming out tomorrow. We'll go to the polls in a moment. Tomorrow morning, we have PayPal in the after hours. Right, this is the second, yes. A lot of energy companies, resource companies coming out tomorrow. Some financials. Lowe's Corp, that should be interesting. It's a big travel play. Waste Management, Clorox, I can't wait to see their numbers. They're going to do great. Camping World, that was a high flyer. So another big day and week for earnings. PayPal being the big Pimp Mac Daddy for Monday. Tuesday, Ferrari coming out. I forgot to order mine. Fox has been beaten to death. That was an oversold stock. It actually looks pretty good right now. Johnson Controls. So we have a transport. So another big week for earnings, but not tech. Not a big tech week. Let's take a look at the polls. I got to be honest with you. I have friends down in Virginia. I've traveled to the polling sites. You're able to vote here in New York. You have been for several days now. And the lines are around the block. If you've been around your polling areas, do you have lines around your block, out of curiosity? Lines around the block takes 3-4 hours to vote. Now, I find it hard to believe that these are the real numbers. Did anybody take a look at the crowd in Pennsylvania for Trump last night? It was like a rock and roll band was playing. 58,000, 57,000 people. I can't see how these are real numbers. I refuse to believe it. I think the bigger numbers and the most important numbers are not the presidential numbers. I think this is ridiculous. I would be more interested. I am more interested in the House of Representatives. you have more toss-up states in the Democratic camp than you do in the Republican camp. So there's a good chance that we see a change of hands of the House of Representatives that people didn't see coming. They were predicting that the Senate might go to the Dems. Nine toss-ups. All of them, actually, two of them are Democrat. Most are Republicans. So it's still dicey for the Republicans. Very dicey. All right, let's take a look at some chart requests. I'm in shock about this oil price. Now we're down nearly 6%. This is a crash. This is a crash. Me personally, I'd be buying right here. Where's our historical support levels? We get around 32.44 the barrel. That's going to be a buy. See buyers coming in now. RSI 21 on a 15-minute chart. RSI on a 5-minute chart, 11.56. I know day traders are out there chomping at the bit right now. Amazing. Really amazing. Let's go to some chart requests. We'll come back here. Let's go to... I have a bunch to get to from members. Disney, DIS. I think they come out with earnings on the 12th, Disney. All right. Monthly chart. A lot of pressure here on Disney. All right, so let's take those off. Let's put our own up here. We have broken support. This quote-unquote dead cat bounce, which bottomed in March, has broken on a monthly time frame. This is in the books. Weekly chart. So we bounced off of support last week. I don't know. This becomes a short if we break the support level. I don't like it. Looks like they're going to try to defend. What is this? 118, 119 per share. Daily chart. Yeah. So I wouldn't buy these shares. You have way too much resistance above, and there's a strong probability that we break. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, this is the type of setup that we're seeing all over the markets right now. I mean, Disney's a relative underperformer because you take a look at the spiders. At least they broke out to new highs on the year, whereas Disney has lagged. And it looks as though we may just roll over here. Down volume last, we're on a monthly chart, right? Yeah. Down volume last month was light. But I would be very, very careful here with this stock. Earnings on the 12th, I do believe. Fact check me on that. And there's your break. Your lower high. Now we're breaking down. These are your support levels here. As go these support levels, so goes Disney. I would avoid it. It could quite possibly become a short. All right, what else do we have? FTSI. FTS International, never heard of it. Yeah, Denny, thank you. Please smash the like button, please. Thank you very much. I'm the worst YouTuber in the world. If it wasn't for you guys reminding me. Every once in a while, I do remember on my own. I can't use the monthly chart here. FTS International. What this reminds me of is the potential for a Bollinger Band squeeze. Which way it's going to go, I don't have a clue. Let's throw some trend lines up here. Maybe they'll help. Look at that. The power of TrendSpider. 35% off. Down below. It picked it off. We broke out. So we broke out in October. Consolidation 1, consolidation 2. No retest yet. Let's go to a daily chart. Daily chart's picking up on some resistance levels above. Yeah, I think this could be bought. I don't know what they do. I mean, I'm going by the technicals purely. But I think it could be bought if you break down below the lows of October the 28th. You stop out. If you start breaking out above this upper band of resistance here at around $340 per share. Is that right? Yeah, $340 per share. That becomes interesting. I like the RSI. That's not what I wanted. That's, oh God. Oh. There we go. So RSI looking really good here. Higher lows, and we have a breakout to higher highs. Good stuff. So it looks good. I like it. FTSI. LED. Lithium Motors. What do we got here? Monthly time frame. Was overbought. We closed out the month with a bearish key reversal on the month. So that does not bode well for November. 214.90 was the low of September. If we break that, we're coming down here to about 155.80 per share. I would, at a bare minimum, expect to see 215 hit. RSI still looks good. Stokes under a little bit of pressure. Weekly chart. Broke support. The value of automated trend lines. Pop. There we go. We broke. This is where we're going. 215 per share. So I would hold off on any buy. I wouldn't short it. If they rallied, if you're looking to short, if they rallied up to 247 or ideally 251, that's where you have your volume shelf. Look and see whether or not it stalls there. Then you could look to nibble to the short side and wait for a break to new lower lows, add to it. But a lot of support right down here, 215 per share. Expect that to hold, or at least to be defended. Apple. Apple's in a lot of trouble here. Uh, 2 months of very heavy selling on Apple. Last month, a bearish key reversal. Weekly chart. Here's your potential double top. To me, it's not a double top until we break to new lower lows. And that lower low would be right here at 103 per share. Where it's stone's throw away. Apple's in a lot of trouble. Daily chart. Looks as though they'll try to defend this. But now you have a lot of volume, a lot of resistance above to fight through. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't see a good setup here. Here, this is what I'm saying. This is not what you want to see from a leading stock. We broke support last week. We're going down to 103. If that fails, then you have a confirmation breakdown. You double top, then your downtrend is confirmed on a close below 103 per share. I would avoid this. I don't see anything positive about the stock. Avoid. All right, let's take some requests from the audience. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm looking for a trade in oil. I think with Biden, First Solar, all right. I think there's a misconception about the renewables. No matter who's president, whether it be Biden or whether it be Trump, renewables are going to go up. Technology is going to march on. They're going to become more and more cost effective, more efficient. They're subsidized by the U.S. government, as is oil. So I don't think that just because we see a President Trump reelected, it's going to be a longer-term negative for these names. I think they're still going to do well. They may have a short-term blip on the screen. I think that would be a buying opportunity on any pullback. Here's First Solar. It's in fuego. Look at what's going on here. I mean, this is telling a story and a half. We're breaking out of a multi-year base. You know, at the beginning of 2020, President Trump was the president, right? There was no talk really of the election, not hot and heavy. We're breaking out. So I think that First Solar is going to do very, very well in any environment. Probably better, more quickly under a Biden administration, no doubt. And to XOM, of which I'm long for disclosure purposes, it's yielding me a big fat premium. ExxonMobil, frankly, I don't care who gets in with regard to that trade, because ExxonMobil, if the frackers get smashed, ExxonMobil with their offshore drilling and their overseas operations will do very well. So I think both will do fine in a Biden administration or in a Trump administration. What else do we have? Zoom? All right, Zoom. A factoid, if you didn't watch my video earlier, Zoom has a larger market capitalization than ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil 7 years ago was the world's largest company. Zoom is valued more than ExxonMobil. And I'm typing in ExxonMobil. Wow. All right, so we close out the month of, my alert was triggered here. We close out the month of October with a bearish key reversal bar. We'll be looking for a break to a new monthly low. Weekly chart. You know, rarely do stocks just go, especially winning stocks, they just don't go straight down absent a SEC investigation or some nefarious act. You don't really see them just drop like a rock. Normally, they'll pull back, usually in long red candlesticks of 3. Then you'll get a consolidation week or 2, and then a rally back. Then the question becomes, do we break out to new higher highs, or do we put in a lower high and break to new lower lows? So I wouldn't short this stock, because at some point in time, fairly soon, they're going to try to rally it. Because a topping action is not a singular event. It's not a linear event. It's a process. Daily chart. We close right at support. I would suspect in the next day or two, We're going to pop here on Zoom. I think that we could rally back up to this resistance level at 506, 507 per share. So not a bad swing trade. But I would make sure that we spend a couple of days at the support level. It's the 3-day rule. Spend 3 days above a support level to make sure that it's for real. Ideally, tomorrow, they sell it off. That will be a new weekly and monthly low. But they reverse it to close positive on the day. That's your signal to go long. But I wouldn't stick around too long. TDOC. All right. Teledoc. Monthly chart bearish. Reversal. You have support. This is where we're going. Right here. 175.50 per share. We'll see if that holds. But I would bet that that's where we're going next. Weekly chart. All right, so where they close it out on Friday, this is interesting. You see this a lot, but it's also a harbinger of bad news. And I'll share with you why. We broke out here the week of September the 21st, rallied, good stuff, rolled over. Right now, we are retesting the breakout point. What was resistance back here, what was support back here on the 28th, the week of the 28th, should now act as support yet again. If it fails, if we close back down to within this trading range, this 175.50 mark is going to get hit. No doubt about it. And there's a strong chance that it breaks because this is a bull trap or a breakout point failure. So be very, very careful with the stock. There's more going on here than meets the eye. We have a bull trap. Daily chart. And it looks as though on Friday, the chickens came home to roost. So be careful here, folks. I would not catch this falling knife. My guess is we're going lower. Avoid. What else do we have? I'm blowing through these tonight. Kirk? Is that Kirkland? Kirkland's. Monthly time frame. Not good. You don't want to see these topping tails. Wicks, shadows. Weekly chart. Tested support, weak bounce. Your RSI is in a downtrend now, confirmed downtrend on RSI. Here's your breakdown to new lower lows. Here's your lower high. Now lower lows on the week. I think we're breaking here. Daily chart. All right, so daily chart, we may get a pop. This is kind of a doji formation, but in this market environment, you got to be so careful. Stokes is still declining. It looks as though they may try to pop it, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised just to see them gap it down. RSI in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. What a rally. Yeah, no bueno, man. Be very careful here. I would not be a buyer. MACD ready to roll over. You already have your lower highs on the histogram. Daily chart. Yeah. Be careful. I mean, you might be looking and saying the Stokes are oversold, but they could stay oversold. I care when they start hooking back up, especially after you get a W formation. We're not there yet. I would avoid. I wouldn't short it, but I wouldn't buy it either. Market's dropping. All right, we'll circle back. I'll go over a couple of more. Google. This is the Class C shares showing relative strength. Isn't that interesting? Versus Geo, they're both trading the same. Big volume. We broke out on Friday. These Stokes are still very weak. Trying to figure out the news and why it was so active. They got upgrades. Okay. A lot of positive headlines last week. That makes sense. Okay. Now I know the whys. All right. So look for a retest on Goog. Down to 1625 on a retest. Beware of these Stokes. These Stokes are still a danger. Stokes declining down below the 50 mark. Rallies tend to fade. And while we were up on Friday, nearly 3.5%, we were a lot higher. What do? Faded. So be careful here. We're not out of the woods yet. AXU. Alexo Resources. We made new higher highs. Orderly pullback. Monthly time frame. We broke support last month. What was resistance back here should have acted as support in October. It didn't. Weekly chart. We broke support. Daily chart. They're going to try to rally it. I wouldn't buy it on the hope that they're going to recapture support. A lot of times, this is like a poltergeist type rally. And what I mean by that, I watched the Poltergeist last night for Halloween. And I haven't watched that movie in 20 years. And it's like dead people are in denial about being dead. It's similar to this, where the shares have gapped down, yet the stock just doesn't realize it yet. The shareholders don't realize it yet. They're trying to bring it back up to life above support levels. And usually this doesn't end well. And you roll back over because your monthly charts, your higher level view, is telling you that these key support levels have already failed, and more likely than not, in a weak environment, a weak market environment, any rally back is going to get sold into. So I would avoid right now. I like cash. What's going up right now? The dollar. I like cash right now. You're welcome, Paul. Anytime, brother. All right, let's circle back to the futures. The dollar is just ripping. Gold cannot be, well, gold may be moving up higher. No, that's not. So much for the fear trade. Gold's going to sell off. Let's get off of this 5-minute chart. Hourly chart. Let's check out crude. Wow, my God. This is bad. Russell 2000 now down a 0.5 percentage point. NASDAQ 100 down 0.44%. Nearly a 0.5 percentage point. Looks like we're going to go lower here. Is there any news? Libya is ramping up production. Demand European lockdowns. That makes sense. The rest is a wall of text. So I doubt the Libya thing is the major news event. It's the lockdowns over in Europe. Just in time for the U.S. election. Imagine that. Dow, which had broken out, is now fading. So much for the retest. We have some time to go before this bar closes. We'll see whether or not we rally back. Mnuchin right now is having his last sip of whiskey for the weekend. A fine bourbon. Nice cigar. He'll get on the phone with the Fed chair in a few short minutes. Jay Powell is just finishing up his pumpkin pie, glass of milk, talking to the missus, sending the grandkids home. The two will get on the phone and they will make magic happen. Any other symbols? NY Jets. How you been, NY Jets? Haven't seen you in a while. You may have covered this. Will silver get crushed on a dollar rally? It depends upon the why behind the dollar rally. If the dollar rally is a fear trade, geopolitical event, the dollar and silver and gold can rally in tandem. But if it's just simply that the U.S. economy is growing, the dollar is strengthening, then silver and in particular gold will take it on the chin because they're viewed as a hedge against inflation. Now, silver is also viewed as an industrial metal. So that's why it's so volatile. One day it's viewed as an industrial metal, the next day a precious metal. So it's a lot more volatile than gold. Is CGC? Is that Canopy? Yeah, Canopy Growth. I'm surprised these stocks aren't a lot higher. We broke out last month above a primary resistance level. I think it's a buy. Resistance at 1878 should now act as support. Weekly chart. I would wait and see whether or not this 1860 mark holds. I'd be a buyer on a defense of that support level. We'll keep that active for a couple of weeks. I've been looking for Canopy to you know what? It's not going to be. I have the sensitivity too wide on it. All right, I'll fix that later on. I want to tighten up the sensitivity on this to be a lot slimmer than where it is right now. I don't want to waste your time. I'll do it later. I like it, but I want to see it retest support. We're going to get a lot of pressure tomorrow morning on this market. Down 5% now, oil. Bad, 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 bad. But Canopy growth is looking good. If it holds support, I don't know if they're going to let me set an alert here. No, they're not. If we break out above $19 a share, we close there, I would add more to Canopy. I'm going to take sensitivity completely off. We'll keep it active for a couple of weeks. And there you go. I like Canopy growth. Looks good. Denny, ACB. Aurora Cannabis. Another one. You guys, I know where your head's at. All right. Weakness. A lot of weakness here. I can't buy this right now. We broke down in September, traded sideways, but put in a new monthly low in October. Weekly chart. It's got to recapture 588 per share. If you want to buy it on a pullback, that's a long way down. I wouldn't buy this stock right now. It's kind of in no man's land. We're right at the bottom of a volume shelf. You know what? You can buy this. Just use a tight stop. We're right at the bottom of a volume shelf. 877 is the price. You break that support level, you close down below it, 877, you got to get out. Because if that breaks, what's going to be the next support level is all the way down here. What was resistance should now act as support. The problem is that support level now has a two handle on it. So you really need to keep a really tight stop loss order and get out quickly. And that's, I said 877. My apologies. I see 3s for 8s on their font. I got to say something to them. It's 377 per share, not 877 per share. Support. Use this tight stop right below that mark. NVIDIA. I mean, this is a leader. The sector's bad. This chart's bad. Double top, probably. We can't make that call yet until we break $4.69 per share. We broke weekly support last week. Let's drill down, see if we have any other support levels below. $4.79. I think that's probably where we're going. And after that is key support at $4.70. If we break $4.70, it's all over. We'll have a new downtrend in effect. That means let's go back to the weekly chart. A downtrend as identified or defined as lower high, and then a break to new lower lows. It's not 470. I rounded it up. Let's use 469. It's best to round down. So if we break that support level and close there, it's all over for NVIDIA for a while. Months. So I would avoid it. You're welcome, Daddy. All right, let's circle back. Let's take a look at the, oh my God, it only gets worse. The Michael Myers of charts tonight. Incredible. Down 5%. No bounce. You'd have thought there'd have been a bounce by now. Looks like they're trying to base here. Looks like the Federal Reserve is going to be the proud owner of some oil future contracts tomorrow. Let's check out the dollar. Is that still ripping? Near the highs of the session, coming off slightly. This is only a 15-minute chart. Gold. Bouncing back here a little bit. The Russell. Coming off the lows. NASDAQ 100 still down about a third of a percentage point. Coming off the lows. It's going to be a crazy night. A crazy next couple. The next 72 hours are going to be mind-bogglingly crazy. Buckle up. All right, with that, folks, I want to say everyone have a great night. Thanks for joining, and I really appreciate you spending your Sunday nights with me. If you could smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me with the YouTube algorithms. Everybody, please go out and vote. Have a profitable trading week, and be well.